One of my best friends in the world, his name was Gary Weathers, and Gary was from Brownsville, Oregon. And before he turned 5 years old, he was hunting deer and catching fish. He always loved fish. And when he moved to the South and married his beautiful wife, Martha, who was a true Southern belle, Gary decided to try his hand at Southern food. So he started to cook catfish, and he was so proud of this dish called Southern Dreams Catfish that he created. And really, when I cook this dish, I dream of it all the night. It's a wonderful dish. Stay tuned. In just a moment, we're going to go step by step and cook Gary Weathers' famous Southern Dreams Catfish. Welcome to All Things Food with John Woods. I love to cook, but I cook to love. So let's talk food. So here's Gary Weathers' Southern Dreams Catfish. Very simple ingredients. I think we just have a handful of them here. Of course, we have cornmeal, egg, jalapeños, diced jalapeños, little garlic salt. There's the cornmeal that we're going to bread our fish in. Then we have some oil. And then, of course, our catfish fillet. Make certain we dry that catfish fillet off real good, because we're going to put it in a hot skillet and we don't want any of that water popping and possibly splattering back on us. We take the 2 eggs, keep them on the table here, crack them, put them in a bowl. Get a little whisk or a fork, beat the eggs a little bit. Take our jalapeños, mix in there with our eggs. That's about all there is to it, just about. Mix all that together. Take our catfish fillet, dredge it down in the egg wash and jalapeños. Then we're going to take our cornmeal, self-rising cornmeal, really nothing added to it, no salt or pepper. And we're going to bread it real good, tossing it real good on each side, getting that cornmeal down into it. Kind of dries the catfish fillet back out there a little bit. We're going to set that aside for just a few minutes while we heat up our skillet. Remember, we always want to have a hot skillet. We get the skillet hot first before we add the oil, then we get the oil hot before we add the protein. So while we're heating up our stainless steel skillet, I want to tell you, I normally cook this dish in a cast iron skillet on very high heat, very similar to blackening fish, but because I'm using an induction burner today, I'm needing to use a stainless steel skillet, which is perfectly fine. So whatever your preference, but my preference is always to use the cast iron skillet. We're going to put in just a little bit of oil, not much. Doesn't take much. And notice how those legs are already beginning to form in the oil there. Now remember, when we add catfish, we want to add it, put it in the skillet with the flesh side down first. That's called the presentation side. Not the skin side. You can always tell the skin side because you can see where they've cut the skin off when they were filleting the catfish. So we're going to put the presentation side down first. And we also put it away from us. We don't lay it in toward us, but put it away from us, so if the oil does splatter, it won't get back up on us. I hear the sizzle. We're good. Move that around just a little bit. And we're going to let that cook for a few minutes until it gets really golden brown. And then we're going to flip it up on the other side and cook it another minute or two. So while you weren't looking, I actually came over here and took a little peek to see what we had. And this thing's browning up very nicely. So we'll take the spatula, come under the back end of it, carefully flip it over. Oh, look at that. That's golden brown, exactly what we wanted. We're going to let it just cook on that other side for just a few minutes, not very long. And then we're going to go to the final step. Take it right off the stove. And here's the mixture that we had a little earlier, our egg and our jalapeños. Let's don't forget the garlic salt. Take a little bit of this garlic salt, very carefully sprinkle a little bit of it on there, not too much. Don't do like one of my employees one time and turn the whole bottle of salt over on something. That wasn't too good. And then we're going to take this mixture and pour right on top of that. And this is going to go in the oven for about 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. Again, as you've heard me say dozens of times, it depends on your oven and how it cooks. But I know in my oven, this is going to take about probably 12 minutes. So here we go. I'm really kind of hesitant to show you this. You know, every time I cook a catfish dish, I tell you it's probably my favorite dish. And my good friend Gary Weathers created this dish, Southern Dreams, and I've only cooked it a few times, but this is absolutely magnificent, absolutely beautiful. And here it is, Southern Dreams. I'm really kind of overwhelmed with this dish, and I really don't know if I should call it a breakfast or dinner, but let's try a bite of it and see. We'll make our decision after that. It's massive. I tell you what, this dish will not disappoint you if you like spicy, if you like jalapenos, if you like catfish, if you like eggs, an omelet. You're gonna love this dish, Southern Dreams Catfish by Gary Weathers, the northern boy from Oregon who landed in New Albany and married him a Southern belle, and he learned to cook Southern catfish. A really, really great dish. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll see you the next time right here on 50 Ways to Love a Catfish.